In a town near Nawagai lived a religious scholar named Syed Muhammad. He was a very well-respected person, for he was helpful and kind. Everyone knew him for his good and honorable ways. He lived a peaceful life, and one of his many blessings was his beloved son, called Sher Alam. When Sher Alam finished his studies, Syed Muhammad bought him a shop and established for him a business to sustain his living. Soon after, his father realized that it was a time for his son to get married, to so as customary at the time. He sent the women of his household to search for a suitable bride. After a couple of weeks, they chose a girl in a nearby neighborhood called Ajaba. They sent a jirga comprised of the elders of the family, as per Pashto culture, to ask for the girl's hand in marriage. Being from a well-known and respectable family, the family of Ajaba accepted the proposal, and so began the wedding preparations. Syed Muhammad had a brother called Kher Muhammad, who ran a sugar mill. He had a single child, a daughter called Maimoona. She was a quiet girl who grew in beauty every day, but was as humble and sweet as a young maiden could be. She had been playmates with Sher Alam during her childhood, and as they grew, his feelings for her grew stronger. Sher Alam went to his father and shyly confessed of his love, since marrying a second wife only increased the worth of the man. Syed Muhammad decided to ask for Maimoona's hand in marriage. For his son, he went to his brother and said, "Your house is my house, your honor is my honor, and your happiness is my happiness. My son has asked for the hand of your daughter, and nothing will make me happier than bringing her to my house." And so wedding preparations in another household was set in motion, and soon two brides brightened the household of Sher Alam instead of one, as one would have thought. Sher Alam's heart was set on Maimoona for many a year, and she, in her innocent ways, brought him happiness and delight in ways no one else could. He could think only of her while they were apart during the day, and his eyes shone as we went home after work, in anticipation of her face. Meanwhile, the first wife, Ajaba, grew bitter in neglect and suffered silently, alone through time soon. Maimoona had a bundle of happiness in the form of a daughter, while Ajaba remained deprived of children of her own. This only darkened her days and added to her suffering. One day, Sher Alam left to the nearby town of Shapkadar for business, since traveling was on foot at the time. It took many days to make the trip and return a couple of days later. Late one night, while Maimoona and Ajaba were alone in the house, someone knocked on their door. A voice called out, "Please open the shop for me, for I have a very urgent need." Ajaba recognized the voice. It was Sita Khan, an unmarried man with a reputation for being a sleaze and no sense of honor. She devised a plan in her mind. She gave the key to Maimoona and ordered her to go and open the shop and give him whatever he wants, and that she would be right behind her. Being the younger wife, Maimoona was obliged to obey Ajaba. Despite her fear and discomfort at the situation, she went out in the dark and opened the shop. Sita Khan had only just entered, and Maimoona turned her face at the sight of him when Ajaba came at the door and began to scream and raise a racket, calling everyone to come to the scene of open scandal and disgrace. She claimed that she had caught the cheating wife red-handed with a dishonorable man. As the neighborhood gathered before the distraught Maimoona, she cried and tried to clear her name, but focused solely on the scandal and the drama. Their ears were only for Ajaba's accusatory cries. Later that week, a tired but happy Sher Alam arrived home, eager to see Maimoona. However, instead of her usual playful salute and affectionate care, he came home to see her. Trying to avoid him, he asked her if she was all right, but Maimoona turned away. He asked again, but again her downcast eyes refused to meet his questioning ones. He asked loudly and demanded a reply, but only tears rolled down her cheeks. Watching them, Ajaba waited coolly for Sher Alam to turn to her. When he finally did, she coyly replied that she was too ashamed to speak, for it was a thing that could be said. Annoyed, Sher Alam told her to stop playing games and give him a straight answer. Ajaba said, "Alas, there is no other way but to say it. Have you not heard what the whole town is whispering about? There has been a scandalous affair that has been running in this house." Further agitated, Sher Alam said, "Woman, tell me what you're talking about." Faking tears, Ajaba cried, "Your precious Maimoona has an affair with Sita Khan. I caught them myself, meeting in secret in your very own shop in the middle of the night. Our entire neighborhood saw them. She has run your honor and your pride to the ground and drowned us all in shame." Shaking with anger, Sher Alam looked at Maimoona She was sobbing helplessly and refused to meet his eyes. The only code he knew was the code of honor, and only blood could wash away his shame. He grabbed a knife with one hand and, in his feverish state, grabbed Maimoona by her hair and threw her to the ground, sitting on top of her blind with rage. Sher Alam did not see the truth in her eyes or the glow of innocence on her face as he slashed at her throat. Still in thirst of blood, he got up and left to find Sita Khan, but he had been warned of Sher Alam's return and had already left town. Sher Alam returned home, but remained a ghost of his previous self. Sleep and humor were lost to him forever, and nothing could bring comfort to his heart. Some years later, as Ajaba lay dying of illness, she confessed the truth to Sher Alam and begged for forgiveness as her dying wish, and so Sher Alam was once again wrecked with grief and crushed by waves of guilt and regret at the unjust murder of his beloved Maimoona, that too by his own hands.